Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and this is episode 4 of our e-waste marathon processing series. I didn't think I'd get 4 episodes, but you know, it takes a while to process stuff. So we're just about finished the pile. I hope to get it all done in this video. Then we'll add in all the scrap that we've saved out of it. We'll get a total. I'm keeping track of my time, and we'll just see how valuable this particular deal is. And remember, we've saved it all from going to the tip. So that's great. And the returns are going to be pretty good too. Let's go and have a look at what's left of the pile. We should be able to get it all done in this episode. Well, here it is. It's more of a tower than a pile now. We just have a couple of things on top. Looks like a Sunbeam griller. That's one of those auto vacuum cleaners. Then we have 3 cases that I haven't looked in, but I suspect they're cordless drills. And then 3 PCs to finish off. So we might not get much to sell out of this lot. It may be all scrapped, but we'll get it through on the bench and we'll process it one piece at a time. Now I'm trying to process this stuff fairly quickly and efficiently. I don't want to waste time repairing something that really hasn't got much value, although sometimes I do find myself going down that rabbit hole. But in this case, we're really just deciding, can we sell it? Is it still usable? Is it still safe? Does it work? If not, can it be fixed easily? So far, I think in this episode, I haven't really fixed anything. If it's not saleable, then do we scrap it? Is it worth the time to scrap it out, to salvage some parts or salvage, and get enough value in our scrap to cover our time? Quite often in scrapping, that's not possible, but a lot of people do the scrapping for the pure enjoyment of pulling stuff apart, and that's fine. But in this video, I'm not wasting too much time because I only have a limited amount of time to process this, and I need it gone. So let's have a look at these first 2 and we'll make some decisions. So this is a Sunbeam griller or sandwich press or something, I guess. Yeah, they're quite common. I get quite a lot of these. Sometimes they're... Why is that jammed in there? I don't think the cord's supposed to be jammed in there. Sometimes they're in really good condition and they're well worth selling. Oh, that's got it. Other times they're particularly grotty or they've been left in the weather and they're rusty. This one's... Yeah, it's not bad. The hot plate's not too bad, but the whole thing itself is a little scungy. They are quite expensive units to buy these, and this way certainly suits someone that, maybe even wants one in his shed to toast some sandwiches left over from the day before or something. So they're quite popular still. It would clean up okay. It's always going to look secondhand, but at least it's not filthy dirty. So I reckon we probably should test that. It's probably still 10 years old or so, but Sunbeam were a good brand, and as I said, they were quite expensive. So I think we'll test that one, because cleaned up I could probably get, well, I could get $20, but would probably only sell it for 10. Pass it on quickly, as long as it's safe and it cleans up a bit better than what it is. So let's plug this one straight into the appliance tester and see if it works. Our red light's on for heating. We need to connect an earth wire to make sure that it is earth, because it's a class 1 item. It's not double insulated. Yes, it passes, so my appliance tester likes it. Is it heating up? Yep, there'll be an element on both sides, I think. So that's heating. What about the top? Yep, that's starting to get quite hot already. So it works fine and it's safe to use. The cord didn't have any damage. I should have tried that first. So really it just needs a bit of a degrease and a clean up. So I'll do that. And I think we'll probably just put 10 on it so it sells quick. Worth wiping it over for $10. This other item is a auto vacuum cleaner, and we did have the docking station I think we found in the very first episode of this series. I don't know that these have much of a second-hand market, because they're either left for e-waste because they've got issues or they're a really cheap brand. Sterling, I think it probably is a cheap brand, robot vacuum cleaner. I might check online to see if they sell, or at least see how much they're worth. Everything seems to be okay here. We'll have to probably dig out the docking station if we want to test it. Pull. Oh, there we go. Ah, okay. This looks familiar. So in, I think, the last episode, we had a plastic container, which I think was a water reservoir. So maybe this one can actually wash. Interesting. I better dig that out and find it. And we'll also better find the docking station, because I think that's the only way we can charge it. The batteries may not be any good either, but there's nothing broken on it. So I guess we should test it before we... There's really not much value to scrap it. It's mostly plastic. There'll be a couple of small electric motors, and probably a small control board, but it's not worth scrapping. So I'll check out the brand and I'll find the other bits for it. So I only spent 15 minutes cleaning these items up. The Sunbeam's not too bad. Cleaned up quite usable. It's a bit scuffed on the chrome. I think someone's cleaned it with steel wool, but it's certainly a fine unit to use in a workshop or something, so I reckon we'll get $10 for that easy. They do work well. I've tested it to make sure the thermostat clicks out when it gets hot enough and everything, so good working order. The robot vacuum, I just gave it a bit of a clean up. It was okay, nothing damaged on it. I found the docking station thingo for it. There was a charger with it in the box of assorted bits as well, and that's the water reservoir that goes with it. And this remote may well have gone with it. It doesn't actually say a brand, and I haven't got spare batteries. I've got to take them out of whatever I put them in the other day. So I'm not sure whether a remote control goes with it or not. I did test the thing. I charged it up a little bit. The batteries probably don't hold as much charge as they used to. It's probably about 10 years old. These things were sold through Aldi, so they're a cheaper brand. Almost, yeah, about 10 years ago. I did check some reviews online, and they weren't very good. They were nearly $200 new, I think. But there was a lot of negative reviews about things breaking and the batteries not lasting and the thing getting lost around the house and not going back to home when it was flat and all sorts of stuff like that. But I tested this one in our studio. Have a look at this. So we tried to introduce Coco to it, thinking, you know, here's a new friend, Coco. She was very wary. Eventually she just barked incessantly at it. But it did perform well. It went around the room and picked up a fair bit of dust, and when it was nearly flat, I only charged it for a while, and it did probably run for nearly 10 minutes, and it actually went back to the docking station on its own, so it does work properly, and it did collect a bit of dust from in the room there. So I'm tempted to keep it, but I don't think I could put up with Coco's barking. I doubt she'll ever get comfortable with it. So value-wise, I'm not going to put much on it because it probably does need new batteries. I did look online. You can buy new batteries. You can also buy the replacement brushes for it. So given that you can still get parts, I might put it in the shop for $20. Who knows? Someone will probably buy it. Apparently they weren't much good on carpet, but they were fine on tiled and timber floors. So someone might like it, even if just to amuse their pet. Incidentally, it was only about 20 minutes to clean up those other items, and that included a bit of research on the Sterling robot vacuum. I must admit, we did spend a bit longer watching Coco chase the vacuum around the studio, but about 20 minutes added to the job time for that lot. Let's get into these tool things. Well, the first one says it's a drill. I expect they're all drills. Let's have a look. Now, again, these will be cheap brands, GMC, probably old batteries, probably not much good. How does that open? Oh, this end. Oh, there we go. Yep. So an old style GMC cordless drill. There's two batteries. I don't think I have a charging thing that fits those. So not going to be that useful anyway. Looks like it used to have a lot of little bits in here. They've all gone. So I will check my box of sundries that I've been throwing aside as we go through this lot, but I don't think I've got a charger for it. So it's really probably just going to be e-waste in that case. What's in this one? Oh, we have a whole kit. There's a little sander, a jigsaw, a light, and a drill. Now, we have a battery on the drill. I don't know if I have to charge it. Oh, maybe I do. Oh, the terminals are all green and corroded, so the batteries are going to be no good. We've only got the one battery block anyway, and I don't think I have that charger. So I'm probably going to take this whole lot to the e-waste at the transfer station. It's not worth trying to get the little motors out of that. That one's just nearly all plastic except for a globe. This one's again going to have a tiny motor, but mostly plastic, and exactly the same with the jigsaw. There's no weight in them, so the motors are just would pay virtually nothing for scrap metal. So, yep, unfortunately, it's just a bit old technology. The batteries wouldn't be anywhere near as good as the newer batteries. They're probably not even lithium-ion batteries. That'd be the older style. 14.4 volts. Yeah, they're NiCad batteries, so they're not going to last even if we did have a charger. But yeah, bad corrosion in there and in the terminals in there. So, yep, that's got to go to e-waste, unfortunately. No value for anyone in this lot. And the last one is a Bosch. And oh, there's at least a charger. But these will be all the NiCad batteries. 12 volt, yeah, NiCad. Torch, which has been broken and taped up again. And this probably suits some of the other things we had earlier in the series. But I'm going to get a transformer out of the charger. I don't think the charger is really going to have much other value. Someone has replaced the plug on it anyway, so I wouldn't be able to sell it without checking that. And I doubt we'd get anything for it. So recycling again. There's a little bit of hardware in this one. At least we can salvage some screws and washers and things. But other than that, all these three cases are going to the transfer station for e-waste. I just opened up the old charger here. Good, chunky, heavy transformer. A little bit of wire. A little control board that's no value. So the case can go to the e-waste and the other stuff will go to its respective tubs. This little cap thing actually is the charger. Well, it's the charging, little charging dock thing that slides onto the batteries. And I found a 12 volt 2 amp power pack in the other box that I'd salvaged. It's possibly not the original one with it, but it will be fine. It will be able to charge these up. So if these batteries actually hold a decent charge, at least these ones aren't corroded. They are still the old NiCad ones, but they may well drive this GMC drill. I mean, it's certainly never been used and abused. It looks like it's hardly ever been used. And the box is quite good. 2 batteries, charger. We could possibly get $20 for it in the shop. There's always someone wanting a cordless drill, just a cheapie to throw in the truck or something. As long as the batteries hold a decent amount of charge and last for a while, we might get another $20 to the kitty. The other 2 definitely going to e-waste though. It's the next day, and a quick update on this drill. I tried to charge the batteries. They would not take any charge. It's not a smart charger. It's just a basically 12 volt trickle charge. The batteries wouldn't hold anything. They've been on for a while and they're still well below 12. They wouldn't drive the drill. And I did have a look at the drill. It seems like the chuck seized. It won't turn. And I took the cover off to have a quick look. And there's stripped threads and there's broken clips. So someone's been into that before. All very dodgy, not worth mucking around with. So that's off to the e-waste at the transfer station. Not worth wasting any time on it, because even in good order, $20, was probably a bit of a stretch. And now we come to our PCs, the last of this pile to go through. I will go through these now. We'll work out what we're going to do with them. And then we have a box of assorted cords and parts and things put aside to work out if we're going to scrap them or keep them. A lot of power supplies. And I think there was that mini HP notebook thing we've got to work out what to do with. So we've still got a bit to go through, but we need to decide on these computers. This one is a tower. It's an AMD Athlon, I think it said. It's got a CD drive. It doesn't have a floppy. I think it's into the 2005 to 2010 era. I think it's actually a gaming computer. It's got a window on the side there. You can see my ring light in the reflection. It's not my Halo. And I don't know if it works. We're not going to... we have to destroy the hard drives. That's part of the deal on these. But I guess we can actually power it up and see if it boots. It may have some value to someone. I'm sure it's going to be more value than scrap. In fact, just about every computer I get, it's pretty much more value as a going computer for parts or bits and pieces than for scrap. This is an older beige computer. It's not a tower, and it hasn't got its front fascia. It has got a floppy drive and a disk drive, and I think that's a caddy for... It's actually locked, I think, for the hard drive, or maybe a bonus hard drive. We'll have a look in it, and with all these we might just see if they'll power up. And if any of you guys are interested, I know I've had a couple of computer buyers. Bob from Tassie buys older ones than these, And Steve from Queensland was interested in the beige ones, although I think he wanted the towers. I would probably consider posting them out, but I would want to get $30 or $40 for them, and then there's plus postage, so it probably makes them fairly expensive. Whereas I could put them in the shop for $10 or $20 and still much better than scrap money. Anyway, let's get set up. We'll power a couple of them up. I'll have to round up some cords and a monitor and probably a keyboard and just see what happens with them. Okay, I'm ready to try and power this one up. Just having a quick look in it. It has the motherboard. I think there's a hard drive under there, but there's no slot cards at all. There's only one stick of RAM. I'm not sure if someone's robbed some parts out of it or not. There is a loose connection here. Might have gone to a video card or something. It's a gigabyte motherboard. But anyway, let's see if it boots up. I've got my old IBM monitor and keyboard plugged into it. So we'll power it up and see what happens. Power button. Okay, it's doing something. Ooh, seemed to take a while to crank up. The monitors, oh, there we go, it's coming to life. I guess we'll have some flickering on that monitor, apologies for that. The date's well out of whack, so the battery on the motherboard's going to be no good. But is the CPU fans going? Can we get anything other than that screen? Okay, I've changed keyboards because for some reason the old one wasn't registering with this computer, but this one works fine. And I've got into the system information. It's an i3 Intel processor and a few other details there that probably don't really matter. The BIOS date is 2013. It does get right through to the the login screen, but I don't know the password to get into it. I'm not sure what operating system it actually has on it. But anyway, there you go. It's an operational, I think, gaming computer, just with the basics in here. Let's just write down 20 and I'll put 20 in the shop. It's way more than scrap price. You're lucky. You wouldn't get $5 of scrap price in these. All you've really got's a motherboard and one RAM stick. CPU's probably not worth a great deal. Power supply is really not worth anything. I will be taking the hard drive out of it, though. If anyone's keen on buying it, it won't have a hard drive in it anymore. And that PC didn't have a hard disk drive. It had a solid state drive, 128 gigabyte. I just levered the top cover off it to show you all that's involved in a little solid state drive. So some good chips on there. So that board's worth probably high grade, but I'll just throw it in with mid grade, so I don't actually get many high grade boards. Should be some good gold recovery, even though it's relatively modern, but very small, hardly weighs anything, so we probably won't get... Oh, I've got another couple of mid-grade boards to throw it in with. This is... I got the remainder of the screws out just quickly. That's just cast aluminium, and that's just steel. All right, let's get on to the next computer. This is another more modern tower computer. It appears to be a no-name brand, so I've just removed the screws out of the back. Let's take the cover off and see what's inside it. What do we got? Not much again, actually. There's a proper hard disk drive there. We'll have to take that out. No slot cards again. A couple of RAM sticks, but fairly straightforward, fairly simple. I guess we'll just see if it boots up. What make is the... It's a gigabyte motherboard again, but it's relatively small. Probably 2010 or thereabouts. Let's see if this will boot up. Okay, I'll fire the monitor up. Where's our power button? Is that it? Is anything happening? Is that the power button? Okay, let's try that again. I had forgotten to turn on my appliance tester. That is the power button. Springs to life. What's the monitor going to do? That sounds pretty good, actually. Here we go. It's coming up okay again. Fantastic. Sounds like the fan's going okay there. CPU fan and the fan in the back. I didn't even notice if there was a fan in the back of the other one. It's trying to load something. Okay, it's got stuck booting up. There's something going on there. It's trying to load something, but it's just frozen. It's not getting anywhere. So I'll reboot it and we'll try and get to the system's information section. Okay, that worked fine. It's actually got an Intel i7 processor, so it's fairly modern. 3.41 gigahertz processor speed. BIOS date is 2011, but I think someone must have upgraded the processor. So anyway, I think the motherboard's fine. There's obviously an issue with the operating system, but that's okay. We're going to pull a hard drive out anyway, so we can sell it as a machine that boots up and someone can do what they want with it. I'm just going to put $20 on this again. Look, an i7 probably sells for more than $20. I'm not going to start selling the processors. I'll put the whole box in the shop for $20. Okay, just removed the hard drive. It's a 1 terabyte, so someone has certainly upgraded this computer at some stage. But I'll put that in a box of hard drives I've got here. I was considering trying to get some sort of reformatting set up so that I could then sell these, but I'm not going to be overly concerned. 1 terabyte hard drives don't bring that much at the moment, and if it takes time to do it, it's just not viable. So it'll probably end up in the scrap, but one thing's for sure, the data won't be getting into anyone else's hands. So this PC will go with the other one at $20. If you are interested in these, I won't post them out for $20. I'm sorry, it's just too much effort to package them up. I will package a computer for say $40 or $50 plus postage, so it does make them fairly expensive, as I mentioned earlier. But through the shop, I get enough computer people in that I'm sure someone will buy it, especially given it's got an i7 in it. Okay, time to have a look at this old girl. Let's get the cover off. Oh, it's tight. Now it's pretty heavy, so I'm not sure what's in it. Well, it looks complete, and there's a few slot cards. It's a Pentium 2, and it looks, there's a hard drive, we have the floppy disk drive, CD-ROM, and is that a separate hard drive? I'm not sure. So it's got a lock. It looks like it is another hard drive. Doesn't look like the lock actually locks to anything though. So we'll see if we can get, yeah, there's some screws on the side. I'll get that out too. We don't want any hard drives in here. But before we do, again, let's try and boot it up and see if it does anything. I'm not sure what all these cards are. There's probably going to be a graphics card. I think one's like an internet type communications card. Not totally sure. Sometimes these old cards can be worth quite a bit as well. Perhaps it'll tell us on the information screen if we can get it to fire up. All right, let's plug some things in and turn her on. Okay, let's turn her on. Now, is that... Oh, that's the power switch. Better not touch the wires at the back. Oh, there we go. She's fired up. Oh, noisy fan. Are we going to have any life on the monitor? Here we go. It's a Vectra. HP Vectra. There we go. We didn't have the front panel. I was doing a bit of moaning. Let's see if it goes through to the... Oh, what have we got going on here? It's a Pentium 2. It's checking things. Press F1. Oh, I didn't actually plug the keyboard in. I better do that. Okay, keyboard's plugged in. No, we don't have any life though. Okay, that's odd. Okay, I've just rebooted and I think it recognises the keyboard now. Oh, it needs a password, even from this stage. Alright, so I'm not sure if we can get into the system settings or not. Okay, I can't get past this screen. It does say, you probably won't be able to read it because it's flickering. It says the CMOS settings are wrong and the CMOS display type is wrong. And when I go to press F1 to load default values and continue, it comes up with enter current password. So I can't get any further, but it appears to boot up. There's some mysterious clicking going on here. I think it's trying to read something. But I'm going to take both hard drives out, and I'm probably going to ask $50 for this one. I'm not sure what the cards are, but I don't think they're anything particularly valuable. I might have a quick look at those, but I reckon I can get $50 for this one in the shop. It has got the floppy drive as well. So there we go. That finishes the PCs. I'm not scrapping any of them. I reckon I can do much better selling them complete. So that's now back together. I did a quick check online. The HP Vectra Pentium 2s, I saw a couple. One brought 200, one bought 180 something dollars, both in working order. This one kind of boots up, other than some CMOS settings. $50 should be pretty cheap. Maybe Steve might be interested in Queensland or someone else. I will post this one out, but you're going to be looking at close to $50 postage. The hard drives I have removed, that one's dated 97. It's a 4 point something, I think I saw. 4.304 megabytes. And this one is not dated, probably the similar date, mid to late 90s. And it's a 3.2 gigabytes. So they will go into my scrap hard drive pile. I'm not going to sell them as complete hard drives, even though I think Ewaste Ben buys them. I do want to protect my clients' data. Not that it's really an issue with 99% of them, but you do one, you do them all. You know, you've got to do what you say you do. So I'll probably do a video at some stage on scrapping out hard drives just to see where the value is. I know I can sell the magnets. There's going to be, you know, some boards on these older ones. There's a nice chip on that one. So we'll put them aside for now. I'll probably price them out for this video at the rate that Ewaste Ben buys hard drives just per kilo. It's pretty much not much better than dirty aluminium, really. I could probably even sell them as iron aluminium. Anyway, the computer's ready to go. We've got 50 on this. We've got 20 each on the others. $90. Should be quite achievable. Okay, we're just about ready to wrap this whole series up. We've got a notepad. We've got a heap of stuff laid out to show you all where it's all going to go. But I've had a few people ask me about this cordless hammer, which I found quite amusing. I'd never seen one before. Apparently not many sold out there because a lot of people hadn't seen them. The battery in this one, unfortunately, is completely shot. Couldn't get any charge into it at all. And I suspect the charger's actually not working properly either. So I've just wired it up to my power supply in here, and I thought I'd give it a quick go. Now, sorry about the shadows in here, but I've got a fairly heavy galvanized nail in here, and I've just tapped it in. This is only a piece of pine. It's been painted white, but it's only pine. And this thing has a light, and it's like a little mini jackhammer. So if we put it on top of the nail, it's pretty much just a noise producer. That doesn't appear to be going anywhere, but you can hear that it is very much like a jackhammer. Must have just a little oscillating thing going there. It is magnetic, so it holds the nail. This is a smaller one. Let's see if this will work. Whoops. There's a problem right from the start. Okay, it kind of works, but it's hard to get the nail straight. How about this one? It's a bit longer, but it's quite thin. It's a bullet head, so I'm not sure how we'll go starting it. Okay, not very successful. As I said, this is only pine. It's not very hard timber. You'd never get the nails into hardwood. Pretty much a gimmick, I reckon. Very hard to keep the nails straight. I did have a bit of a Google on them, and there's some YouTube videos, and it shows how easy they are to put nails in tight spots. Well, yeah, if you can't swing a hammer, but the nail being, you know, you don't get a decent nail in. You'd only be able to really put very small ones into very soft timber. So, bit of a gimmick. Obviously, we can't sell it. We don't have a battery or a charger, and I'm not going to suggest someone buys a benchtop power supply just to run the thing. So, look, I don't think it's worth it. It's quite light. There's not a lot of weight in it. Probably why it doesn't work that well. It's only going to have a little electric motor and some sort of gearbox in there, so I'm just going to put that in the e-waste. But pretty cool to see how it kind of works. It's the next day now, and I need to tidy all this up. So here's the last few things to jot down on the notepad before we go to the studio, where I've laid everything out and we can see how it all kind of pans out. This little HP mini notepad, I'm actually checked online, and I think I mentioned earlier in this series that I can't believe these things actually sell because they're quite old. But they seem to get good money. You know, I've seen them sell for 30, 40, 50 bucks, maybe even more, and they're often listed as parts only. This one seems to work fine. I am just currently resetting the hard drive to factory settings because I don't want to have to try and take it out. And that's probably a good option for laptops, that I can just reset them and then sell them as they are, because the hard drives, especially in little laptops, aren't worth very much for scrap. So we're doing that on that one. It has got a charger with it. It seems to be responding really well. The only issues it's got is a bit of wear to some of the keys, as you can see there, but everything else on the little laptop seems fine. So I don't know what I'm going to put on it. Let's just try $30 in the shop. Someone may use it for, I'm not sure what, but they seem to sell. So $30 there. These security cameras I mentioned, I think in probably nearly the first episode. Apparently he has more of them, but I haven't seen him again for a while. These, you can still buy these new. They're Swan, they're got night vision, and I think they just plug into a 12-volt power supply, and you have a video feed. So new, they're anywhere between $50 and about $90 I saw online. I don't know that one's ever been used. Maybe that one has. I'm just going to put $5 each on them in the shop. The only power board that was worth selling is this one, and we'll probably just put 5 on that. It's not a switched one. If it was, I'd probably keep it myself. It does test safe though. And this heavy duty fuse came out of some heavy 12-volt wiring. I think it might have been for a car winch, a power supply. I've chopped the cord off, and there's also a loom with switches and a relay. I've chopped them off. The cord's gone into the electric insulated wire bin. We should be able to get $5 for that big heavy fuse though. So that's all we've got to add to the notepad here. I don't think I've forgotten anything else. We'll go for a walk around the studio shortly and we'll get the notepad out. So a quick glance at what we've been through in this episode, and we have a total potential return much better than I expected actually. I thought I'd be scrapping most of these, of $170. It only took us about an hour and a half, so we're well up in our labour rate for this episode, which will boost our overall rate. We'll go to the studio and have a look at everything now. And here we are in the studio where I've laid it all out for inspection, and I can't wait to get it all packed up because it's been cluttering up my place for a week or nearly 2 weeks. So what have we got? Well, let's have a quick look over the table. Here's all the stuff that I've priced out. I didn't itemise it all again, but you can go back through the episodes if you want to find out what I put, how much I put on something, or message me and I'll answer below. But we priced everything pretty much as like a garage sale price, very cheap. I've had a few comments saying you can get more for it than that, or those things are expensive to buy new. But really, it's all about moving it on quickly. And I think I've also said I want to keep it relatable to you guys. So if you haven't got a shop and you have got a garage, you do have a garage sale, or you go to a market or something like that, it's quite saleable at the prices that I've quoted. There's also some sundries here, which I included in a sundries figure. Hardware and stuff that I can sell, bits and pieces. There's a switch and a relay. I'll keep the globe. So just stuff that will add value to other boxes of assortments that I have in the shop. I didn't write down anything for a whole box of remote controls that are handy. Some of them suit the TVs I've got. Some will suit TVs that I get in the future. Also included in the sundries figure are all these power cords. There's IEC cords, there's the figure 8 cords. There's also HDMI cables and USB cords. I sell all those sort of things through the shop just for a few dollars. And a box full of general power supplies here. Some of them are USB ones, which I do sell regularly at $3 each. Others are linear power supplies. Most of them are switch mode. 6, 12 volt, all fairly common. I try and get $5 each for them through the shop, and they do kind of sell fairly quickly, but I've rounded that well down to make it realistic as far as value goes. So that pretty well sums up everything on the table tennis table. All the stuff will sell pretty quickly, although even though I valued these at I think $20 or something now, I'll give those to my daughters, they'll use them. This one I didn't write down anything for because it's a bit far gone. I didn't put it in the e-waste pile though because I might do a project on that down the track. And then we have a few bulk lots like these downlights, which I'll just sell in one go. The toaster, someone pointed out, you can buy them brand new for $10, but I think I'll pretty well get $10 for that anyway. It's as new and it's been tested and tagged. So there we go, that's all that stuff. On the floor we have, let's go over here, we have our garden equipment all cleaned up, priced to sell pretty quickly, and I think it will. In fact, there's already been a couple of people want the hedge trimmer, so that one's basically sold already at $30. The PCs, I'm pretty sure will sell quickly through the shop if no one wants them on here. Little bit of sundry scrap here that I didn't bother weighing up or anything, so that's included in the sundries figure on the notepad that we'll get to shortly. And then we had some brass. I think there was a bit over $10 worth of brass there. Some irony aluminium, I didn't write down anything much. There's a couple of dollars there. The copper wire we'll see shortly, fair bit of value in those 2 tubs. And of course all the transformers or the ballasts out of fluoro lights. And I've added a couple of electric motors because they're much the same value. Very heavy crates those, even though they've not even a quarter full. Over this side we have the e-waste. Remember, all of this was going to the e-waste, was going to the tip. So that pile is all I'm putting in the e-waste crates out at the transfer station. I included these power boards here, however I won't actually take them out because I'm going to do a scrapping video on those to see if it's worthwhile getting the brass out of them. That will be down the track a bit, but the rest of it's just going to the e-waste crates. Hardly anything compared to the pile we started with. This is all the landfill I have, just bits and pieces of plastic and random stuff, but really just rubbish. Little bit of steel to go in my pressing steel, which goes to the transfer station to be recycled there. And a couple of bits of cardboard for my cardboard bin, my curbside recycling bin. So very little waste. And the value, well, it might surprise you. Here's the final wash up. $760 potential return. 6 hours and 40 minutes. I kept track of all of my time while I was cleaning up stuff, while I was researching prices. I could probably do it a little bit quicker. I didn't actually allow for all the time stuffing around filming, which does add a bit to that, but generally if I'm doing this deal and processing stuff like this, I wouldn't be filming it. Although if you guys like me doing these jobs, let me know and I'll probably film some more. $110 an hour. And these prices, as I mentioned, are very achievable. $615 for all this stuff that I can sell pretty quickly. $40 was for the sundries. That was the cords, the power supplies, the random little bits of hardware, and some of the scrap metal that didn't add up too much. And here were the scrap metal prices. 36 kilos of transformers, $43. There was $12 worth of brass, $43 again of the insulated wire, and the data cable was $6. So there we go. That's the wash up from this exercise. Around about, well, close to 7 hours of constant work, but over $100 an hour is not a bad return. And we didn't scrap very much. We scrapped a bit of stuff, but we're going to have a lot of stuff ready to keep in circulation, which is the by far better option than scrapping things. And so thanks for coming along on this marathon episode with me, guys, or marathon series. 4 episodes, I think about 2 hours of footage. I hope you've enjoyed the process. I've enjoyed actually processing it all, and doing it in front of you guys makes me kind of accountable. I have to make decisions on everything, and that really helps process the whole lot. So I enjoy doing these deals. If you like seeing them, let me know and I'll record more of them. But ultimately, we got some pretty cool stuff, and the time it takes to process it is more than worth it. Over $100 an hour is pretty good. It's adding to my scrap hoard for another trip to Melbourne soon, and it's giving me lots of good electrical stuff for the shop, which I like selling, and I like the whole idea of keeping it back in circulation. So thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next video. Bye for now.